What is up? What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me. It's been a while since I've done this. Let's see. DB Tech, what's going on? I think I actually picked the wrong camera. Oh well, I don't think I can change it now. What's up, everyone? Chris, Flint, Ludwig Van Peterson. How's it going? Dang, I have a separate camera over here, and it. Oh wait, maybe I can change it. No, I don't think I can. Oh well, we'll save that for next time because the whole point of this stream is to advertise the next one, which is next week at the same exact time. Oh well, we'll roll with it. Might not be able to see my bass today. Actually, you know what? Let me check on my phone. Because, since I've streamed, I think it's actually been about 3 years. And the entire backend interface is completely different. So let me see if I've got everything right. How's everybody doing? Yeah. Oh well. Video frozen now? Zen. How are you? I always appreciate your comments. They're very nice. Thank you. You guys hear the bass okay? I'm not going to have this on too long. Okay, so I've partnered up with the folks at sweetwater.com, and it's a pretty big deal. I've worked with them a bit now and I will in the future because this is a music based channel. And they reached out to me and mentioned that I comment about my Line 6 Helix a lot. And that is what I'm giving away 1 week from today. So mark your calendars. It's exactly 7 days from now. So this stream is at 6:00 p.m. Central Time. 1 week from today on Tuesday, the 12th, 6:00 p.m. I'm giving away a Helix. I actually haven't even opened it yet. So I'm going to take this off and talk about that. But the premise of me having a bass, well, am I backwards here? Yeah, I am. The premise of me having a bass is that I'm going to be playing a bunch of bass lines and you're going to have to guess which one it is. And it's kind of a different giveaway. I felt like this would be a little refreshing. We kind of went back and forth on ideas, and I'm just going to pick, I don't know, 25, 30, 35 bass lines that I know, and they're going to be easy things. And you're going to have to name them in chat. And the first person to get the most when I run out, let's say 25, I'm going to ship this Helix to you. Pretty simple. Something fun. I don't want your email, although I do eventually, but I don't want your information. I'm not going to do one of those giveaways and just spam you endlessly. This will just be something fun. You don't have to be subscribed. You don't have to comment. You just have to show up next week at 6 p.m. and I'm going to play some bass lines and make sure you have a good internet connection and fast typing fingers. And it'll be stuff like, oops, I'm not even, there we go. This is why I'm doing this stream. I got to test all this stuff out. Easy stuff like that, right? Higher Ground Chili Peppers. I'm not going to play a bass line that's like, and you have to name the song. This will be really easy, just something fun to do. So let me go ahead and unbox that, and we'll talk about that. Give me a second here. So, mute my Helix. So I have a Helix floor, which is down here. You don't ever really see it in my videos. Put my in-ears back on. Yeah, it's wise to do a test stream. Again, I used to actually do test streams, not test streams. I used to do streams on YouTube, taking requests. I used to do this on Twitch a lot. I don't know if anybody out there remembers my time doing Twitch streams. It was right around when the pandemic happened, but you guys would just request songs and I would pull them up almost in the same manner I did on YouTube, where I just listened to a song for the first time usually. But I would play along with it and try to figure it out. It was a really fun thing. I kind of miss doing that. It's impossible to do on YouTube here because of the copyright. But if any Twitch people are out there, I might get back to doing that. All right, let's get to it. All right. I actually haven't even opened this and make sure it's the right thing yet. I guess that would be important. This isn't going to be the most climactic unboxing video, but just to show you what I'm giving away. So this is actually a Helix Stomp, which is a smaller version of the Helix floor, which is what I've been using exclusively for, let's say, 7 years now, 2017. I can't believe that's 7 years ago. And I would have bought this model if it were out then, but the Helix floor is the much bigger model. So here we go. Ooh, I got the Sweetwater candy. That is, in fact, the best part. All right. So this is what I'm giving away. 1 week from today, if you're just tuning in, I'm giving away a Helix Stomp. And I don't own a single effects pedal anymore. There is not one effects pedal in this entire studio I have, because everything is possible on the Helix. Every tone you hear in every YouTube video you've watched for the past year, it's all running through a Helix. I'm not miking a cab. I'm not really altering it in post, maybe some levels or EQ or something if I'm trying to match a certain tone, but everything is from the Helix. And the reason I don't own any effects pedals is because this thing gets them all done. It gets the job done, and it's even smaller. And it has the same functionality as the big one, just without the wah pedal, which I don't use anymore. And I personally think this is a bass player's best friend. And I mean, I just can't say enough about it. So if you're a bass player and you want to win this, come hang out next week. I'm basically going to play 25 bass lines, and you're going to have to name them. And whoever gets the most points, I'm going that way down the road and putting it in the mail, and it will show up on your door. Okay, I haven't looked at chat much. I appreciate you guys being here. This is awesome. I need to do more live streams. I've been meaning to get back to it. How's everyone doing? Have you listened to any more Fugazi? Bed for the Scraping. I've not listened to any more Fugazi yet. You know, doing these reaction videos is kind of weird. It kind of puts me in a musical bubble, because anytime I might listen to a song, I'm like, wait, I might need to see if someone's requested. It's become this thing. And that's kind of why I started doing the full album reactions on Patreon. So another announcement, I'm on Patreon now. I've talked about it a bit in videos. I haven't been obnoxiously promoting it, but I just reacted to Rancids and Out Come the Wolves, start to finish, like 90-minute video on Patreon. For $2, you can come see it. And we're having a blast over there. If you're on Patreon, thank you for being there. We're going to do a full album each month of a song I've already done on YouTube. And that will honestly allow me to listen to these bands and really understand them, because it's kind of hard with one song. So to answer your question, no, I've not listened to more Fugazi yet. I'd like to. They had a really great thing going on. I'll have to kind of revisit Waiting Room, which is the one I did. Mystical, thank you. Atlas Novus. Finn Burrs, how are you, man? If you're still here, yeah, Twitch was fun. Those were fun. I mean, we were all locked up in COVID. There was really nothing to do. So I got on Twitch and we played bass. I want to get back to that. Thank you, guys. What candy did I get? Let's see if they changed their candy up. Bit of honey. Dad's Old Fashioned Root Beer Hard Candy. Laffy Taffies. Peppermint. Always love the candy from them. Yeah. So Phil G, what's up? You're on the Twitch streams. So this is a segment I used to do on the Twitch streams as well, where I would and I put myself under the gun. I would actually take your band's song and learn it in kind of the same way I'm doing these reaction videos. I would listen to it one time, and then I would have to play it with no stops. And I remember some people sending me the craziest, like, tech death stuff. I can't believe I signed myself up for that. It was a lot of fun, and ultimately what happened is that other people in the Twitch stream became fans of their music. I mean, it wasn't the biggest Twitch stream, but there was something just really cool about that. You know, the more I talk about it, the more I need to get back to doing it. I'm over on Twitch. If you want to go follow me there, it's just Lone University. Don't know when that'll happen, but it's been on my mind. So, but yeah, if you're just tuning in, once again, giving away a Helix Stomp. The Helix is my best friend as a bass player. I've used nothing else since 2017. I basically sold all my effects pedals. So I'm going to play some bass lines, and you're going to have to guess them. So you better have fast typing fingers, hopefully good internet connection. and it'll be something fun. But this test is just to make sure all the kinks are ironed out, and there's already been a few, so I'm glad I did it. I'll have a different camera. There's a camera on right here that looks way better than my computer webcam, but it defaulted to that one for some reason, so I gotta figure that out. Yeah, nearly 60 people and 12 likes. Thanks, DV Tech. You're really rooting for me. Give this video a like. Click the like button. All that stuff kinda helps. Brooks. Brooks is in town next week. Brooks Tarkington is my bandmate in Tetrafusion. It's been my longest running band. I started that band in high school with 3 of my best friends. We have 4 albums out. We're about to record another sometime this year. It'll be the 5th album. It's just a complete gluttonous prog metal project that I'm very proud of. We released our first album in 2009, and the last one was 2017 called Dreaming of Sleep. It's on Spotify. Some hard music, and the new stuff is hard music. So I'll be working on that this year. So if you like Tetrafusion, say hey to Brooks in here. Neil, do you play any 7 or 8 string guitar or baritone guitar? I don't. I own a 6 string guitar. Actually, it's not even mine. I'm borrowing it. It's that Peavey 6 string. Honestly, there's a lot of bass players who are like, "Oh, I play guitar too." Like, I really don't. Like, I didn't really start out playing guitar. I went straight from piano to bass. And I talk in my videos a lot about how I'm just not good with a pick. I mean, I could play like basic. I can get by if I need to, even if it's something's a little technical. I can get it down, but it's just not a natural. I don't know, something about the wrist angle. I'm bad at it. I would rather like double thump it or something. So don't own a 7 string or 8 string. Haven't played one. I would like to get one for just recording purposes and such. So I need to definitely add to my collection. Mess with any dark glass products? I've actually eluded dark glass quite a lot, for no other reason than what this actually is a great time to circle back to this because I'm giving away a Helix, and I'm giving away a Helix because I like my Helix so much, and it's just I'm kind of the person where I find like a few pieces of gear I really like, and I just don't look further. Honestly, I'm kind of that way with music, which is why I haven't heard a lot of these bands. I get comments all the time. How have you not heard Fugazi? I just haven't. I just haven't. I didn't grow up listening to that stuff. I kind of found my 250 bands I really liked and who were still putting out records, and I just didn't look further. So, in fact, in the Helix, there is a dark glass pedal, um, distortion pedal. I mean, it's modeled after it, and it's very accurate. I have played one before. I just don't own one. So another reason I love the Helix. It has that sound in there. It's actually on the patch I was just using. Um, Plug that back in. But I have a ton of respect for Dark Glass. They're a fantastic, brilliant team of people. I've met a few of those guys over the years at NAMM shows. A lot of friends and peers play them. I can vouch for them. I just have never really gotten the opportunity to sink my teeth into one. But this actual sound I have on here right now has a little bit of a dark glass pedal blended in. So things you can do on the Helix that are cool. Neil, I didn't see your super chat. Thank you. I think it's my first super chat, to be honest with you. I don't know how these work. Um, Where's the best place to suggest things for you? Crash Raphael. I know you're on Patreon. Thanks for being there. At some point, that will be the best place to do it. I pride myself in reading every YouTube comment. I try. It's starting to really cut into the personal life, and I'm trying to have that good balance, but it's just in an effort to keep up with everyone. I want to see what you're suggesting because at the core of this, I'm finding new bands I A should have heard, B I don't know anything about and probably like and do like in this case of doing a lot of these videos, but I try to keep up with all the YouTube comments, but it's a lot. It's getting to be a lot. I'm very grateful for that problem. I started out doing these reaction videos last January in 2023. I just threw like 5 up just for fun because I like talking about music. And it became this train of just requesting songs, and I do them and they'd request more. And like, here we are 14 months later. Can't believe it. Can't believe I'm about to hit 75,000, which is small potatoes and YouTube land truly. But I'm just grateful to have a community like you guys here that show up and comment. And you're excited. So if there's any larger point to this live stream, thank you. thank you. This has been so much fun. And it's gotten to the point where Sweetwater reached out and asked if I want to do a giveaway. So again, I know people are always tuning in, tuning out, and giving this away 1 week from today. I'll post about it again as we get up to it. This is more of just a test stream. So thank you. Have you sampled any fishbone? I have not. Oh, did I answer my last question? Patreon will be the best place to kind of guarantee your request gets through to me. But I still read the comments here. So keep suggesting. I have No Means No coming up. I have Morphine. I have Lorna Shore. I have Slipknot, which I know Slipknot, but it's a video of Paul Gray. It's on the schedule. What else do I have on the list? I actually should have pulled that up. I've got more No Effects coming up. Suits and Ladders. Fat Mike commented and requested that. So I'm reading your requests. I'm getting them in. I've had a lot of requests for Gang of Four, Bad Brains, and The Jam, but no real like song recommendations. So sometimes I'll have a column of just artists I see a lot, and I'll have to kind of go back and dig and find the ones that are most requested. So keep them coming. I read them, and you guys are just kind of filling out the schedule. So thanks again. As far as Fishbone, no, I'm aware of the band Fishbone, and I know I talk about the Warwick base camps a lot in my videos. Those are just the wildest times. I met Norwood Fisher there at some point. Didn't know his band when he told me. So I've met Norwood, bass player, awesome guy, but I don't believe I've heard any Fishbone. Know the name, of course. Should direct to some hardcore bands: Black Flag, Minor Threat, Circle Jerks. Cool. See what I can do. I actually got a lot of requests for Minor Threat when I did Fugazi. I think there was some connection there, similar members or something. Hi from the Netherlands. Awesome. You know, I've only did a full European tour once. Netherlands was like one of the coolest places. I think we played in Nijmegen, however you say it. Super clean. It was awesome. The crowd was awesome. This was in 2013 with Scale the Summit. Had a few layers in Amsterdam, but what a great place. I would love to go back. Can you describe the input-output section on the Stomp? Input-output section. I'm not sure what you mean. I guess I could open it and just show you. How about that? Because I don't honestly know it. I mean, it's the similar thing as the obvious Helix I have. I've not really played around with one. Oh yeah, and whoever wins this next week, I'm going to load it with all my patches. Why not? It's not a ton, maybe 10 or 15, but I'll throw all the patches you find on my Patreon page, like my Tool tone, my Duff McKagan Guns N' Roses tone, Black Album tone, the tone I'm actually using in this video. I'll throw some of my favorite patches on there. I'll find some old ones. I guess I'll just cut it open. Why not? Let's just unbox the whole darn thing. All right. Man, I wish I had my other camera working. I got to figure out why that happened. All right. Helix Stomp cheat sheet. Gonna need that. Cables. Of course. I should have taken my bass off, but let's see here. All right, unboxing this Helix Stomp. Look how tiny it is. Look at this. Okay. Yeah, one of you are going to win this next week. I'm excited for you. So what bass lines are going to be on my quiz? This is going to be a name the bass line quiz. Once again, if you're tuning in, I'm giving this thing away a week from today. Same time, 6 p.m. on Tuesday, March 12th. What bass lines are going to be on the quiz? Well, it'll be largely based on the type of music I do on this channel. If you've been following me a while, you probably know what music I'm into. You might throw some curveballs, like something from Scale the Summit, maybe. Something obvious, but the whole point is to have fun, mix it up. Okay, I'm getting off track. Input, output. So let's see. It's got a return loop, effects loop, send. Let's see. Oh, wow, they really packed a lot on the back here. Yeah, so I guess just in right there. It's got a headphones out, 1/4 inch, MIDI. You do MIDI switching, I'm sure. I've never actually used that feature. But it means basically a laptop can change your patches if you're playing to a click track on stage. USB, you can hook it up to a computer. Another thing that's cool about the Helix is it has the Helix edit software. So you can control it from your computer. You can edit patches. I mean, I use that all the time for every video. So this is a cute little fella here. Pretty much has the exact same controls as my Helix floor down there, like pretty much the same knobs, just smaller. So this is a mini version. And truly, I would have bought this if this were a thing back then because I never used my wah pedal. So I don't know. To answer your question, I guess in here, out here. I'm sorry, on the back. Cool. Helix Stomp. Somebody's going home with this next week. Learn your bass lines. I'll try to make them kind of easy. I don't want to be here forever, but just something fun. All right, let me catch up on the chat. 63 people. That's awesome. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Let's see, where was I? Love the community. Thank you, Zen Zen Zen. Kyle, thanks for that. Mike, thank you. Yeah, I get this comment a lot that I'm covering everyone's childhood who grew up with punk music, which was not my childhood. It's my adulthood, right? I'm loving it. I really am. Like I say this a lot. I kind of wrote off punk or what I thought was punk. You know, I think I heard a handful of punk songs and I don't know, something about it. At the time, I just like I was really into prog and Rush and Dream Theater and I was just looking for that kind of music, very very tunnel visioned. So anything outside of that, I didn't really understand it. I wasn't into harsh vocals quite yet. Granted, punk music doesn't necessarily have harsh vocals in like the metal sense, but it was just like too heavy for me, believe it or not. And, you know, a lot of my friends just didn't listen to it. And we all know that the music taste you have growing up are sort of like a sum of the people around you. It just nobody was listening to that stuff. So getting into it in my adult life has been awesome. It's a whole different way of playing bass. The approach, I mean, it's very new for me. I think that's the coolest, inspiring thing about it. It's like, wow, there's actually something out there I have not discovered yet musically that appears to be pretty popular, and I just missed out on it. So this whole punk turn has been a lot of fun. I've loved every band's different take on punk bass playing. The songwriting is quirky, different, untraditional, while all being pretty relatable and accessible. So um, thank you to you if you've requested a punk track and I reviewed it. I'm really enjoying getting into it. Garrett, what's up? Garrett Miller. I think Garrett Miller might be the first Tetrafusion fan we had. I'm glad to call him a friend these days. We've kept in touch for many, many years. Great to see you, man. Just passing by to say you're one of my favorite reactors, focusing on the bass parts, being chill, showing your genuine enjoyment of music. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. I have so much fun doing the videos. They only work and spread because you guys show up and comment and request more. So can't thank you guys enough. Did you know that less than Jake put out an EP of covers from the musical Grease? Really? Now I'm intrigued. Wow. Grease soundtrack is a bop. What else we got here? Any more Gotrek spin coming up? I feel like I'm pretty behind in these questions. I'll try to speed them up. None planned. I had a lot of requests for that one song called Mindset, and I'm sure if I went back to the comments, there would be more there, but I just hadn't got any other videos. Usually, like I'll do a song if I, I'll react to a song that has nothing to do with a previous band or this genre, and I'm like still getting requests for some other band. That's when I know it's like I got to do it because it's becoming all encompassing. So I'll have to go back and check it out because Gotrek Spin was, I mean, that was crazy fusion, Japanese band, insane musicianship. I remember just really loving that one. I mean, that was just a complete surprise. So yeah, I'd love to revisit more. Just let me know what you'd like to see. Lagwagon, Give It Back on the list coming up. Camilo, my band, I'm not technically in a band right now in terms of like being active. I was touring with Tony McAlpine. He's an 80s shredder. Some of you might know him. I was touring with him up until the lockdown, March 2020. Like we literally cut a 5-month tour in half and we all went home and I never toured again. And so I was playing for him. I never got to play on any of his records, but I was his touring bass player. Before that, I had a band called Watermox. which is the band that Dave Mustaine produced us, and we kind of wrote some songs with him, and that was a very promising thing. Had a lot of momentum. That was also just kind of nixed with COVID. It just kind of lost steam. Before that, I was with Scale the Summit for 5 years, which is mostly what I'm known for, if you will. And great times. That definitely kickstarted some sort of musical career. And then I've had Tetrafusion, Tetra Fusion, one word. You can find us on Spotify. I've had that band since 2006, high school. And we are finishing up the fifth album as we speak and are going to try to record it. So that's been kind of just it's kind of like all I've ever known musically, Tetrafusion. Thanks for the subscription. Kakashi, thank you for that. Neil, thanks. Checking out a Tetrafusion song. Yeah, if you guys want to check out Tetrafusion, check out, I guess, Dreaming of Sleep. It's the latest album. It's got the pink cover. If you're looking for a shorter listen, we have a release called Horizons EP. That was released in 2012. And Jamie King is the one that produced and recorded those. He did all the Between the Buried Me albums, The Contortionist, Last Chance to Reason. Fantastic guy. The records sound great. I mean, that's like the hardest bass playing I've ever had to do is on those records. I mean, we really pulled out all the stops. So another one of those records is in the works. We've been kind of slowly working on it this year, putting the touches on it. So bass improv jams. I don't think I've ever gotten your name, sir, but I always appreciate your comments. You're awesome. You make my day all the time. Late to the party. How do we enter? I feel like I got to keep kind of repeating this because I don't want anyone to miss it. 1 week from today, another live stream happening, giving away a Helix Stomp. All the boxes all untethered over here to my left. But I use a Helix for every video you've ever seen on this channel since I started doing videos, like reaction videos. And of course, I was using the Helix on the channel before that. Giving this away. Rules are simple. You come in next week, I'm going to play a bunch of famous bass lines. Some might be harder than others, but this is going to be one that's on there. I'm just going to give you a bingo freebie. Okay, Higher Ground. That's going to be on the list. I'm not telling you where it is, but that's a freebie I'm going to give you. There'll be other stuff. It'll largely be based on the kind of music I'm into and have done on the channel, and maybe a few curveballs here and there, but that's all you need to do. Just guess the most amount of them, and when the list runs out, whoever has the most points wins, and I'm going to ship you this thing. And that's all there is to it. You don't have to sign an email list and give your information. I don't want any of that. Just want you to subscribe. We got to get to 75K and then 100. Crazy stuff. I appreciate you guys being there. This is a lot of fun. Streetlight Manifesto, thank you. That was a fun video. Another one I got to get back to. I've not done a reaction on Queensryche yet. I know Queensryche. Naturally, being a Dream Theater fan, I've got Operation Mindcrime, Empire. Really only know about 3 of their records. I know they have a lot more, but could always break a song down on the channel. Again, there is Queensryche parts of their discography I've not heard. So if you want to hear something, let me know. Mindcrime's an insanely good album. I listened to that one a lot when I was younger. What musician celebrity have you met and were you starstruck? I've met a lot. And the reason is that as a Warwick artist, they used to fly out like 200 bass players from around the world, all the most popular guys. I don't know how I ended up on that list because I don't put myself in that category. I was a Warwick artist, and their artists were invited out. But that was my chance to really meet, network, and make some like lifelong friends and networking. You know, Rex Brown, Peanut, Norwood Fisher, Victor Wooten, Rob Trujillo, Billy Sheehan. I ended up teaching 1 year because Billy Sheehan had to cancel and they called me to come do it. So I filled in for him. The whole thing was still just it's like a dream. I don't know if it happened. And I just met a lot of my bass heroes and just general musician royalty there because I went 4 or 5 times. They used to do it every year from about 2014 to 2017. They'd do big jams. We'd drink way too much wine. They'd have a big concert. We'd play bass. I mean, it just was like I used to tell people when I got back, it was like visiting the Willy Wonka's chocolate factory for bass. Truly, there's no other better way to describe it. And then again, as I said, a few years later, I got hooked up with Dave Mustaine from Megadeth, and working with Dave and meeting Dave is exactly like you would expect. He is unapologetically Dave Mustaine. And it was really cool. He's a super nice guy. Just very caring, had a lot of great wisdom and advice, and went to his house for a couple days. Um, his son Justice was kind of managing us at that time, and that was a trip. I can't believe that happened either. And then touring for Tony McAlpine, who I listened to growing up and then got to play for him. So I'm fortunate to have met a lot of my heroes. There's still many on the list would love to meet. Of course, when I toured with Tony, we were on tour with Sons of Apollo, who had Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy, who were two heroes. Was I starstruck? That's your question. Absolutely. But I try to play it cool. Can you recommend some headphones for playing bass through? I'm just using some Shure SE215s. They're kind of the low end, pun intended, in-ear monitors. I've had these for years. I've actually been meaning to upgrade because sometimes I notice I'll listen to a song for a reaction video and I'll hear it back like through my studio monitors, and I'm like, how did I miss that? Like layer. It's like I think these are actually kind of getting a little worn out, or they're just not as crisp as they used to be. I don't know. They've been through a lot of tours, a lot of sweat, so I need to upgrade. I think I'm going to get the Bayer Dynamic DT 1770s. I think I've been looking at those, just something over the ear that I can just really hear, because the whole point of what I do on YouTube is hearing stuff, talking about it. So just wait till you discover the Casualties. Cool. Is that a band? I don't think I've heard of them. Hi, everyone. What is up? I'm terrible at keeping this moving. What strings do I use on my thumb? Dunlop Super Brights. I've been playing those exclusively for 11 years. I'm a Dunlop artist. I've been endorsed by them since 2013, 14. Scale the Summit days is when the whole band was moved over to Dunlop. I've been playing them ever since. I think just the 30 to 130 set. I don't know what that would be for 4-string, but I just use the 6-string set on the 4-string. I just save the other 2 strings. So something you can do as well. What is up, guys? See new people coming in. Gifting memberships. Neil, going crazy, man. That support means a lot. Really does. I'm so glad you guys are here. Again, I haven't done a live stream I think since COVID. COVID was really like the thing, everything kind of shut down. Oh, good question. For the contest, are you going to be playing the songs yourself or hitting play on the recordings? I'm going to be playing them myself. So I'm literally going to sit here and go. That's your freebie. And again, what I'm talking about, if you're just tuning in, I know how these live streams go. Giving away a Helix Stomp next Tuesday. Tune in, 6 p.m. Central. Time might change by half an hour, but I'll, of course, let you know. I'm giving this thing away. I'm going to load some of my favorite patches I use on it. And the way to win is to guess the bass lines I play. I'm going to play them just like I am here. For some reason, this live stream defaulted to my computer webcam and not like my other one where you can see it's much bigger. I don't know why, but maybe not seeing the bass would keep it pretty fair. I don't know. Nonetheless, they're going to be pretty easy bass lines. I might have a few fun curveballs and deep cuts, but I'm going to be playing them. And they're not going to be bass lines like, it'll be something recognizable like Higher Ground by the Chili Peppers. That's your bingo freebie I'm giving you. Can you post when you're going live for it? I sure will. Have I ever seen Cannibal Corpse live? No, that would be awesome. I have met Alex Webster. Before I played Warwick, I played Spectre, and I remember the NAMM show, I got to meet him. He was just the nicest guy ever. All those guys are. Bass players are nice people. We try to be. I've mostly just met bass players for the previous question asking about musicians I've met and such. Have I ever met my young? Yes. One time, 2012, I saw Dream Theater. I was in Scale the Summit. When Scale the Summit opened for Dream Theater on Progressive Nation 2009, I wasn't in the band yet, but Dream Theater came back 3 years later to Houston, which is where the band is from. And they all went backstage. And of course, I was in the band, so I got to meet everybody. And I briefly met my young. I think I just blacked out. I don't remember even the interaction, to be honest with you. I just cut my teeth on John Myung. That's one of my bass heroes. I mean, I I watched John Mayung videos just nonstop. I even bought the VHS tape when I was in high school. So yeah, I think I just blacked out when I met him. Of course, I don't think he had much to say if you know John Mayung, but yeah, I would love to meet him again. Donnie Bennett. Donnie Benet. I have not. Hello. Dayton. Hi, hi. Said it 5 times. Hey, times five. Kevin Krajewski. How are you? Hope I said your name right. Thanks for being on Patreon. Guys, the best way to support this channel is come find me on Patreon. Just picture the little thing popping up. Patreon.com/Lowen University. I'm doing full album reactions each month that we're going to vote on. They're going to be albums of songs I've done on the channel already. So it's subject to change over time as I do more songs on here. I'm uploading all the lessons I filmed years ago, like A to Z, like everything I know about bass playing. I've made a video on it, and they're all going up there every week on Patreon because it's taking a long time to migrate them over. It's a pretty tedious process. Lick challenges, backing tracks, some of the Helix patches I've done, and the sky's the limit. I want Patreon to be the place where, like, anything I can think of, I'm going to put it on there if it's not for YouTube. Bonus content, fun stuff. So I just launched that back in December, right around New Year's, I believe. So we're maybe 2 months in. A lot of you have joined. It means the world to me. Being on Patreon allows me to do this. So thank you for those of you who are there. And if you consider joining, come hang out. It's going to be a ball. What bass guitar in my collection is my prized possession? If you had to sell all your basses but keep just one, I'm going to go with that guy. That guy right there. And that's tough because it's the nicest bass I've ever owned. It's that green chrome. It's got the lights in it. Now, it's special to me, all right, because it's a nice bass, but I don't know. It's tough to narrow it down to one because this bass right here is a PV Cirrus BXP5. I don't even know if I don't know if PV makes the Cirrus basses anymore. Those have a mojo to them. I recorded the first album I ever played on in 2008 with that. This was like the first like nicer bass I ever owned. And just some of the first gigs I ever played. I mean, there's so much history in that. And the only reason I don't play it is because one of the tuning pegs is stripped out. It's been that way for 10 years. I need to get that fixed. But if you saw my Less Than Jake cover with that red bass, the red P bass, that was the first bass I ever owned. It's really not a nice bass. It sounds good. And I put the Les Claypool gold pachyderm pickups in there. And I bought that for $75 in a pawn shop in 2004. First bass I ever owned. So that one's pretty special to me. In fact, I sold it. That person sold it. And then I went on like a stalking case and tracked it down and rebought it back. I think it was just a mutual friends, but I got it back. I'm never getting rid of it. So which one would I take if I could only keep one? I would take those three. That's my answer. No means no. Yes. Punk and hardcore demos. If you're still here, no means no is on the list. I should probably pull that up. I could just tell you what's coming up. Why don't we just do that? Give you a little insider scoop here. And of course, this is always a little subject to change. But yeah, let's see. It's loading. What's my hairstyling routine? Oh boy. Lagatron 9000. Thank you. Yes, no means no is coming up. End of March. I've got Rag and Bones on the list. Hair routine. So I'm part Hispanic. My mom has very thick hair. Both my parents do. My dad is not Hispanic, but he's always had really thick, dark hair. So I've got thick hair. And I had really long hair for about 4 years. So let's say up until 2020. Honestly, when I got off the Tony tour, I cut my hair off. I just got tired of it. But it was pretty long, and of course, I wear long hair back. So when I cut it all off, it's like it got lighter and it just kind of started like it just kind of was trained to just be back all the time, like pulled back. And I don't know, when I cut it short, it's just like it dries kind of like poofy. Of course, I put like pomade and matte in it, and just I don't know, it's just the hairstyle I have. That's just really it. It kind of dries that way. Best answer I got. When talking to Dan Briggs, how quickly does it turn into a conversation about theory? Um, I toured with Dan Briggs in 2012 on the Trioscapes. That was a blast. I think the thing I remember from that tour, Dan Briggs has played. He plays for Between the Buried and Me. He has a side project called Trioscapes, which we played with. He's played Spectre basses forever. When I saw the action on his bass, I'm like snagged right here. When I saw the action on his bass, it looked like power lines. He had the highest action and he played really hard. I think that blew my mind. Like he must have like just all lean muscle in those forearms. That guy, I love watching him play every night. But to answer your question about music, I don't know. We didn't talk music theory a ton. We just talked about whatever else. But I know he knows his stuff. So maybe we did. I don't know. It's been 14 years. What songs or bands have been your favorite since you were a kid? Well, the only album you can see right there is Dream Theater's Scenes from a Memory. And this vinyl wall you kind of see behind me is kind of like my top 10 influential albums as a bass player. And then all the CDs are kind of like 11 through 99. So more or less that wall, it's kind of hard to see it. It's got all my most influential records and which are kind of my favorites. I mean, I grew up on Fleetwood Mac, the Eagles, Steely Dan. My parents were into classic rock, of course. And then my stepdad got me into Rush and Van Halen. My brother got me into Guns N' Roses. And then once I got into Rush and like Yes, I was middle schoolish. I got into Zeppelin, Floyd, and then a friend showed me Metallica, Megadeth, Dream Theater, and then I formed Tetrafusion, which we just were Dream Theater worshipers back then. And I just went way down like prog territory. So if you want to see how I missed punk, nobody showed it to me, and I just went that whole other. I was in college playing jazz. I listened to a lot of jazz growing up, funk, Motown, Tower of Power, that kind of stuff. So I just wasn't in like the, when new metal and like pop punk was kind of really popping off in the early 2000s. I was just already tunnel vision somewhere else. It's kind of why I miss that stuff. KMS, I don't know what your username is. Thank you for the comment. Love the videos, dude. I'm a recent fan. Started watching with the no effects reactions. Haven't missed one since. Thank you. That means a lot. It really does. If I could do a collaboration with any YouTuber, man, I don't know. Sometimes I think about this, but I know there's other reaction channels. I like the charismatic voice a lot. Uh, she just seems really cool, and I ended up finding her from. It was about the time I started these. I actually kind of saw other people doing some music reactions, like drumming, made me want to do a bass one. But they were just kind of like watching Danny Carey play Numa or something, I think it was, or a different Danny Carey video. I was like, I'm going to do that, but just add some educational value. Of course, you have to talk over these things. That's how the videos are more fair use. I can't just let the song play, but charismatic voice would be cool. There's a lot of other ones. Scott's bass lessons. I've been in touch with Scott. Of course, when I went to the Warwick base camps, we were both there and talked a bunch. Um, Never really reached out about doing much together. I don't know why. They would be fun. I think I could do some content with them. They're a cool channel. I've never met Ian, but he seems like the coolest guy. Um, I don't know. I'm in a pretty niche down channel. It's like bass stuff. It's a bass is already just so small of a circle. Something like Rick Beato would be crazy, but Rick's a superstar now, doing great work over there. I think he just hit 4 million today. I think I saw his post. That's incredible. His videos are amazing. I love hearing him talk about all things music and just the interviews he's done. Just crazy cool. Speaking of interviews, I'm going to be announcing something soon. I'm going to be interviewing a bunch of bass players. Yep, it's happening. And there's some pretty wild ones on there. It's not going to be on this channel, but it will be kind of cross-pollinated in a way with this channel. And it'll be some of my heroes. It'll be some of my peers. It's going to be really cool. I'm not allowed to say much yet. When I know, you will know. But if you're just tuning in, one more time. 1 week from today, I'm giving this away on a live stream. Line 6 Helix Stomp. Just got to make that like every 10-minute plug. Yeah, I'm going to be interviewing some bass players soon. It's going to be a really cool experience. I've got a lot of fun ideas. I can't say with who or whatever, but it's with another company, and Um, at some point, I might poll you guys for some questions for the guests. I think that would be kind of a fun way to involve you guys, but we'll see. So, speaking of Rick Beato's interviews, that's kind of made me think that yes, I have an interview kind of thing coming up. Call it a podcast, if you will, but I'll let you guys know more on that when I can. Will be a lot of fun. Yeti Beats. Where did I go to school for music? I didn't major in music. I played in the jazz band in college, which was a class. So there was some jazz study stuff and analyzing pieces and talking about theory, but it was a jazz ensemble at the end of the day. I was in school for business. I actually dropped out of college to go tour with Scale of Summit. That's how that happened. Never finished. I literally got a call to join Scale of Summit, which I was a fan of at the time, because Jordan Eberhardt, who plays in the Contortionist now, left, and I got a call. Actually, Evan Brewer was the one who recommended me to Chris Letchford to give me the call. So that's how that got hooked up. And I was on tour with Scale of Summit like 3 months later. And that's been the last 12 years of my life, pretty much. Hello, I'm trying to find a cheap but very crunchy and heavy sounding bass. I'm leaning into a Sterling sub bass, but I also like the sound of jazz basses. I don't have a lot of experience with Ernie Ball basses. I'm not crazy about the bongo, just the ergonomics of it are weird. I love a good old fashioned Stingray. I just don't like where the bridge pickup is. I mean, it's like, well, I guess there really is only a bridge pickup. It's just too far back. I know they have the double humbucking model, but I don't have a lot of experience with them. I'm going to give you the cliche answer. If you're looking for a cheap budget bass, the Jackson Spectra is what I use. I love these basses. And they have a Pro Series now, which I have one right here. I'm just waiting for some pickups to get installed into it. But Jackson Spectra, I mean, well-rounded. I've used it in just about every video you've seen. I love the way it sounds. They play great. Um, I'd recommend those to anyone. Beth Roars. That's another good one. I have seen her videos. It's been a while since they've popped up. Andrew, thank you. Thanks a lot for that. Kalufid? I don't know if I'm saying that right. Yeah, charismatic voice. I don't think we've ever communicated. I've been told we do similar videos, and of course, I found her right about the time I was starting these because I was looking for, just that was anybody doing a bass channel talking about songs, and I couldn't really find anyone. But I did come across her. I'm a big fan. I think the video where she had Will Ramos, I think that's his name. Like they scoped his throat. That's one of the most fascinating videos I've seen. I have Lorna Shore on the list. I've never listened to Lorna Shore. I've seen some Instagram clips. I know they're real heavy, but just scrolling like a tour announcement or something. But I'm going to be listening to the Hellfire. I think that's in a couple videos from now. I've had some requests for Lorna Shore, so I'm going to really dive in and listen to that and kind of find out what they're about. Christy reacts. Thank you. You love my hair. Thank you. I got to use it while I have it. That's my answer every time. I kind of miss long hair too. Like I got really tired of it. Now sometimes I miss it. I've played guitar on and off 20 years, but I picked up a bass last year. Now I feel like I'm at home. Hey, you are. We need more bass players in the world. And not the cliche answer that there's a bass player shortage, which I kind of think there is, but bass is just freaking cool. We have the most creative freedom out of any instrument in the ensemble. I'll die on that hill. I have evidence to back it up. No, I just think it's a great instrument. You can support the drums, you can lean into the guitar, you can double the riff, you can play with the kick drum, you can kind of play whatever you want, and it always turns out to be a great song. Everybody loves feeling the bass. They want to hear what's going on. That's kind of the whole point of my channel. I meet people that aren't musicians that don't even know what a bass is. I can't tell how many times I've done a gig and they're like, "What kind of guitar is that?" I'm like, what is it missing a string? I mean, you get this stuff all there's like people that just don't even know what bass is. It's just kind of like a spectrum range they're hearing in their headphones. We got to bring attention to this instrument. It's powerful. It moves songs, it makes people move, and it makes or breaks a lot of the greatest songs, in my opinion. Is the old LEU website active? Great question. Put me on the spot here. So, long story short, I'm moving all of that to Patreon. I needed a place to rehouse all of that content, which I filmed up until 2018, 19. I kind of hit a point where I just didn't know what else to teach, to be honest with you. Like I just needed to like live my life some more to know what to teach. But the thing is about leu.com, it's still up and running. works fully functionally because I'm on it all the time to migrate the content. But the web team I had behind it just kind of got out of the business. And not to be blunt, but they kind of like just left me high and dry. I just had a website that was custom built that I didn't know how to manage. I'm not a web developer, and it's just kind of hanging on. And I know it'll inevitably need to just be pulled because it's kind of getting out of date with some of the back end stuff. And um, it's going to move it to Patreon. That's where all the content's going. And that will be the new Lowen University because I'm just kind of more in the YouTube world these days. And managing a dedicated website like that is a time suck. It's a lot of stuff. And something like Patreon, just a little cleaner, more simple. So I've made the choice to go over there. So is it still active? I'm not adding anything to it, but it still has the full library that I'm slowly moving over to Patreon. That's for the junior plan, all the lessons and stuff. And then now I can add new lessons when I get there because I can't add anything to the current Loan University. It's kind of locked up. It's a whole long story I won't get into, but got any Goldfinger on your list? Yes. I saw that request a lot in the Real Big Fish video. Okay, here's my 10-minute plug. I don't know if that's been 10 minutes. Next week, if you're watching, giving away Line 6 Helix Stomp. Look at it, all its glory. Giving it away. You just have to come here next week, a live stream just like this. I'm going to sit down. You will be able to see my bass next time. I had a camera snafu. I'm going to play some bass lines and you're going to guess them. That's what we're going to do. Fun little game. No catch. No catch. We're just going to play some bass lines. You're going to guess them. Yes, I'll leave the live up. Bass improv jams. All right. Michael Lawrence. I've seen SBL doing the take on Dromios here. Yes, I have seen that. The video flow I feel is a little different because Dromio, they're all in the same room. I think they're kind of doing it over Skype. Of course, you know, it's still very well put together, and I want to see them do that kind of in the Dromio format where everybody's together. I think it's just like it's just easier to kind of hear the whole song unfold that way. I would love to do it. I really would. If they're doing it virtually, I'll do it. There's a lot of music I haven't heard. You guys have found out. Yeah, mention me. Sure. That would be cool. Are you going to offer a senior level at Patreon? Yes. I kind of left that off intentionally for now because I didn't want to roll that out until I like had all my ducks in a row with that. Basically, it's going to be, I see a lot of Patrons do this where they do like live Zoom hangouts where we can all like actually talk to each other and just something more like more personal. And some other stuff. I'm still figuring that out soon. And of course, it will include everything on the other tiers. That's for my Patreon. Join my Patreon if you want to support the channel. Patreon.com/Lowen University. I'm doing full album reactions each month. For those of you who've been asking about Cigar, I did Legacy of the Seven Plies over there. I'm going to move that to YouTube because it's getting requested so much. So stay tuned for that too. What kind of bass is this? It's a Jackson Spectra. I get asked a lot about the pickups. No, they're not stock. So, oh, this is perfect. Look at this coincidence. So this bass right here has EMG PX and JX on the bridge, and they did the custom paint job of the bass on the pickups. They sent me 2 copies, just backup pickups, I guess, and they just sat in a drawer forever. And when I got this bass, I was like, dude, I got to put those in this bass. So the backup set of pickups for that bass is now in this bass. And the stock pickups on the Jackson are great. I did a whole tour with them. I played 30, 40 shows. They sound great. I just really like EMG pickups. I've been playing them exclusively since 2012. That was like my first endorsement. I've played nothing else except EMG pickups. That has been my sound on every record, every live show. I love them. I love EMG pickups for bass. They're perfect for me. You're going to win that line 6. Neil, I have faith in you. I'll throw a Metallica song in there. I remember your comments about me saying I listen to Dream Theater a lot. I'll probably throw a Dream Theater bass line in there. but I'm gonna try to make them pretty universal and obvious. I still gotta make that list. Love your tones. If I don't win, just buy one. How would I get your patches? They will be available on my Patreon page. I'm getting them slowly uploaded there. Got the Tool one over there, the Duff McKagan one, which I really like that one. I've got the exact tone you're hearing right now. It's really glassy, clean tone, but it can kind of like break up really easily. Sorry, I can't see the whole bass. But this tone is pretty much the tone I use for all my YouTube videos. That's on Patreon, and I've got a bunch of others from touring I need to dig out and re-import and adjust. So I'm slowly incorporating those over there. That's where you can get my patches. Do you react to bands more than one time? Yes. I've done multiple Tool videos, Primus, Metallica. I've done multiple Bandmade videos, Love Bites, Mudvayne. I've done multiples for sure. I think just when I got into the punk thing we've been on, and I'm not going to be on punk forever. I'm still going to heavily incorporate it because there's so much other music to check out. But I have so many punk requests to get to. I'm going to be on them a while, and I'm glad because I really like it. I like a lot of things about it. Some of them aren't my favorite bands or favorite vocalists, but I'm just appreciating getting into like something different. That was the whole point of kind of doing this series. So yeah, down to react to a band more than once. Absolutely. In fact, my favorite reactions to do are bands I've already heard once. Honestly, because like I go into it kind of like with some context and I kind of know what I'm looking for so that I can kind of like ignore that kind of what I already know and then find something else. And I just had it just like the whole thing comes into view a lot clearer than just like a complete blind listen, which is why I'm doing the full album reactions on Patreon. I just did And Out Come the Wolves by Rancid. I really wanted to check one out. That's actually the video that started this whole punk rock thing. I did Maxwell Murder back in December, just a random request I'd never heard of. And it was just crazy. The bass solo, like the energy, but it was 85-second song. And I've been meaning to get back to Rancid on YouTube. And I'm like, I don't know anything about this band hearing 85 seconds. Like I got to hear more. So that's why we're kicking off full album reactions on YouTube. I'm sorry, on Patreon of songs I've done on YouTube. Low End You Discord. Yes, I've been meaning to add a Discord to Patreon. I would kind of make it available for everybody, but if you sign up on Patreon, it'll kind of like automatically put you in. You know what? I don't know jack about Discord. I mean, I have it downloaded. I've used it a couple times. I don't know what I'm doing. I got to figure that out. There's a lot I don't know. I feel like I'm getting old. But yes, it's on my list to make happen, and it will be just kind of for everybody to come in and chit chat. What do we got here? Like an LD50 Ryan bass patch. Be tough. That's so much of that Warwick thumb sound. I've tried to I kind of tried to recreate the Warwick sound on here. Just the way the low notes respond. They're kind of tight, they're not flubby. It's in the ballpark, but man, there's so much responsible in that tone because of the Warwick. Any tips for double thumb playing? Steve, great question. Not sure how long you've been here, but I'm on the wrong camera, and I honestly don't see how to change it on these settings. It's like very limited. I wish I could just swap. Or I would show you. But in fact, I think one of the best lessons I made back when I was doing a lot of lesson content, it's a lesson called How to Learn Double Thumb. And it's on this YouTube channel. It's from like 8 years ago. You'll see it. Just go down to the lessons playlist. I have to scroll somewhere. It's called How to Learn Double Thumb. It's got blue letters on the thumbnail. And that is the most like clearly broken down way I could think to teach that technique. And it's a direct rip of the way I learned it. And it just talks about going through, using your thumb like a guitar pick. You have to think about your thumb as a guitar pick. Going down through the string, coming back up. But the whole point is trying to close the gap between the thumb, down, up, 1, 2, and then pluck, pluck. See, it's 4 notes, down, up, pluck, pluck. Let's see. That's hard to get in the shot there. And the whole thing is just based around muscle memory. You just have to get that muscle memory down. And it's weird, and it took me about 2 or 3 months, and one day you just kinda wake up and it's like, it feels natural. I mean, it's like anything. You just kinda have to get used to it. And then before you know it, you'll start using it in places you never would because it just becomes second nature. But you just watch that video. That is the best way I can break it down. I feel like I explained it very well and as just like rudimentary as I could. But it starts with learning how to play songs just with your thumb and then using your fingers. But double thump is like one of my favorite techniques to whip out. Kind of hard to play like this. You can even use it for like chordal stuff. Whatever. It's tough to play like this, but you get the idea. Double thump. Learn it. It's a great technique. It has so many functions and uses. Sorry to go long-winded on that question. Some people, let's see, some people get people to set up, moderate their channel Discord. Yes, I've thought about that. Getting someone to moderate it. I don't even know where to start with that. Do any of you guys want to do it? I don't know. Yeah, I know that I've used Discord for like just one-off things. I've been in there, but it's just like setting it up. I kind of looked at it and was just like, wouldn't say it's like an airplane cockpit, but there's a lot of settings and just permissions and all this stuff. And I just need to sit down and give it a day. But yes, coming soon. I definitely want to make that happen. Will I eventually do an LD50 full album reaction on Patreon? I would love to. I would love to. We're gonna kind of vote on those over there. Um, Eventually, I want to get to them all. At some point, I might do 2 a month. It's a lot of video, so I'm just promising 1 for now, but I would love to. When you return to Rancid, the obvious album's Life Won't Wait. Cool. Love to come back to them. Hey, Felipe, another Warning reaction. Cool band. I'd love to get back to them. I think I've done 2 of those so far. I feel like I've seen some comments that they released a new song. Using OBX Studio as a second webcam. Yeah, you know what? I used OBS a lot. I actually use OBS all the time to make these videos, and I chose to just do the basic YouTube platform. And like I know in OBS I could easily just switch to a different camera. So I might do that next time. We'll see. I think I kind of screwed up. Stupid me. Thanks, Felipe. Flacco, the skinny kid. Thank you. Infectious Grooves coming soon. Always heard that name, just kind of like Suicidal Tendencies. Never checked them out. I mean, if I came home with a CD called Suicidal Tendencies as a kid, I don't know. It wouldn't have gone over well. So I just didn't grow up in that kind of some of the imagery in music, even grunge music, new metal. It just wasn't in my wheelhouse. So I'm glad to catch up on this stuff later in life. Do the Deftones have any decent bass playing? I like Deftones. I know about 2 of their records really well. White Pony. It's been a while since I've really listened. I don't know about like standout bass playing, not like in the guy's ability, but just like anything like you know, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I've always just they've been kind of like just a heavier band where it's just kind of like wall of sound. Haven't heard a ton, but I also haven't listened in a while. Josh, would love to see you break down some mathy bass tapping. Old Pets from Toronto. Haven't heard of them. Could be fun. Felipe, how many do you own? Forgot what I was even talking about. I don't know. I don't know how many of what do I own? Let me know. Faith No More. I did one Faith No More reaction for King for a Day. That was just another band I need to get back to. So many, the requests are just getting crazy. So I'm just trying to keep up and keep it moving. How many bases do I own? I've sold a lot over the years. Uh, some I really regret selling, like the old version of that. Sold that 3 years ago. It was the Buckeye Burl. Uh, keep in touch with the guy who owns it regularly, so never know. How many do I own? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think 10. So I've got another Jackson that nobody's seen. It's the Pro Series, but I'm getting some white pickups put in it. I'll just show it to you right now. 1 second. This will be like my new base of choice, maybe. Uno momento. So I've had this for a while, and I'm actually dropping it off with somebody tomorrow. Coincidence? I'm gonna put some white, like they're like cream colored EMGs, just to kind of match. I thought it would look cool, but this is like the upgraded version of the bass you always see me play, the Jackson Spectra. Um, it's like their Pro Series, and I played it. It's got Nord strands in it, so the Jackson basses you normally buy just come with like the Jackson proprietary pickups. They got Nord strands in these, but as I said, I just love EMG so much, and they make white pickups. So I wanted to put those in here. All right, guys. I think I'm gonna wrap this up. You guys are freaking awesome for hanging out, chatting. I love taking your questions. Uh, I just want to shout out some gratitude for you guys being on the channel, coming back, requesting songs, being active. It means so much. This is about getting to 75,000 subscribers. I think I was at 13, 14,000 a year ago, and you guys made it possible. None of this is possible without you. Without you guys showing up in the videos, Sweetwater would not have reached out and asked me to give away a Line 6 Helix. So, and that's what I'm doing next week. One more time, giving away a Helix Stomp, powerhouse of an effects unit. I sold all my effects pedals because all I needed was a Helix. Of course, mine's on the floor. So next week, same time, 6 p.m. Central. It might change slightly time. I will post about it and let you know, but I'm going to come prepared with a bunch of bass lines. I'm going to play them. You will be able to see my bass better. And whoever guesses the most, that's going to your door. And something fun, right? We're not going to take your information and address and all that, like typical giveaways, something fresh and fun. But yeah, just thank you guys for being here. So come to the Patreon, patreon.com/Lowen University. If you want to support the channel further. If not, you guys are supporting me here already, and that means the world. Thanks for hanging out. I think I promised earlier in the stream and I didn't get to it, but here's what's coming up on YouTube. Did Dinosaur Jr. today, the lung. That was really interesting. Never heard anything quite like it. That was posted like just a couple hours ago. So check that out. Dinosaur Jr. Jawbreaker Want. Next. I'm going to add that cigar video in there somewhere, releasing that from Patreon. We got Lorna Shore, got Alkaline Trio, Goodbye Forever, got No Effects, Suits and Ladders. I got a Slipknot one, I think Duality, a playthrough with Paul Gray I've never seen. I've never really watched him play, so that's been requested a couple times. No Means No. No Means No, I think, is the most passionately requested band lately. I've never heard of them. I can't ignore it. No Means No. Got Morphine, and still just some undecided stuff I've really just scheduled through the next month. But tons of stuff. Tons of stuff. Thrice. Need to get to them. Joy Division. Frenzel Rom. Satanic Surfers. The Specials. The Clash. Bad Religion. I've heard of Bad Religion, but not really listened. Sublime. Goldfinger. The Jam. Bad Brains. Gang of Four. Mars Volta. Been meaning to get to them. So that's kind of a loose forecast of what's coming up other than the ones I said are scheduled at the end of the month. So keep the requests coming. If you want to guarantee I'll consider your request, come over to Patreon. And I think I'll wrap this thing up. You guys are freaking awesome. Love you all. This has been great. Come back next week. Gonna have some fun. I'll hang out, keep it chill. We'll kind of run through the base giveaway and then we'll hang out again. But I think that's it for me today. I haven't drank any water since I started this. Kind of getting parched. All right, friends, this is awesome. I'd love to do some more live streams soon, but for now, this is to promote next week's giveaway. Tuesday, March 12th, evening, 6 p.m. Central or so, giving away a Helix. Come prepared. and we'll have a grand old time. All right, friends, it's been fun. Thank you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Fun to nerd out with you guys. As I always say, love you all. Cheers. We'll see you next time.